Hello everyone, it's Simmuz here. Welcome to a brand new video. In this video, I'll be talking how the incredible success that has followed the Sims franchise, and especially The Sims 4, is the reason why we're seeing so many new simulation games on the market. But before we continue, don't forget to leave a like to this video and subscribe to my channel for more Sims video info and news. In the last year or so, and especially in the last few months, we've seen the announcement of many new live simulation games that are following in the steps laid by Maxis with the Sims franchise. Obviously, we have Project Renee, the future Sims title that is being developed by EA and Maxis, that will replace or maybe work alongside The Sims 4 with its release set in the near future. But we also have the very interesting Paralives made by Alex Mosse and his small team, and more recently the Paradox title Life by You, which will be released in early 2024. Finally, there's Vivaland, a live simulation that will focus on the multiplayer experience and has been going viral on Sims Twitter, and Hometopia, which will focus on the building aspect. We've never had so many live simulation games all being developed and competing on the market at the same time. Ever since the first Sims game was released in early 2000, the Sims franchise and its many iterations have been the standard for live simulation and have had a pretty strict monopoly on the market. But the ever-expanding gaming market, combined with the monetary success that The Sims 4 has met in the last few years, pushed companies to dabble in the live simulation genre. The term live simulation games is used to refer to all those games where the player lives or controls one or more virtual characters, which can be human or otherwise. And these games usually revolve around the individuals, their relationships with other characters in the game, and the whole ecosystem that surrounds them. Live simulation games first came into the market in 1985 with Little Computer People for the Commodore 64, which allowed players to type requests to characters living in a virtual house. In the mid-1990s, with the improvement of artificial intelligence, the first AI virtual pets like Tamagotchi appeared on the market, but it's only in the year 2000, with the launch of The Sims, that the perfect formula was achieved, and it quickly became the most successful artificial life game created, spawning a multi-game franchise with 4 extremely successful and profitable mainline games. The Sims franchise, ever since its release in the year 2000, has been the standard for the social simulation games, where players expect to interact with other characters, create their own, dress them up, build houses, and much more. The Sims franchise was the face of the virtual dollhouse games, and was pretty clear it was, and still is, the standard to follow. And it also holds a strong monopoly on the market. When someone thinks of a live simulation games, they usually think of The Sims. It's referenced in pop culture, it's still relevant, and people make memes of it still today. The gaming market has seen this franchise dominate the live simulation space for more than 2 decades, and only recently, with these new games coming out, there's been some cracks forming in the foundation of the Sims empire. I think there's multiple reasons all at play as to why we're seeing this resurgence in live simulation games all around this time. Firstly, the Sims 4 monetary success. The Sims 4 reached 70 million players in April 2023, with a tremendous 16 million additional players since becoming free-to-play in late 2022. It also reached $1 billion in revenue in 2019, and in 2018 it was confirmed to have sold more than 30 million units combined with the DLCs. So it's clear that The Sims 4 is a powerful moneymaker for EA, and other companies might want to jump in and nab a portion of the market for themselves. The second reason we are seeing so many live simulation games coming out is the controversial nature of The Sims 4 and how many fans feel about it. The Sims 4 is the latest mainline game for The Sims franchise, and it's been out since late 2014. Ever since its release, the game has been plagued with a lot of criticism from fans of the franchise, at first because of the lack of some features that had been staples in the game for years, which were later patched in, and then because of performance issues, controversial decisions, back releases, and much more. Being the longest living Sims game for almost a 10-year run, it's also true that many fans are tired of playing with an outdated game, that it's still at its core a 10-year-old game, meaning it's not up to par with the current machine and the technology we expect from contemporary games. So these rival companies will be able to come out with a modern game that is more in line with the public's expectation and that is up to par with modern machines. This is especially the case with Life by You, which was originally set to release in late 2023 and now has been pushed to 2024. While the game did receive some criticism regarding its art style and look, and that's why the release has been pushed, the better performance and the feature added are all things that Sims fans have requested for a long time, such as an open world and more in-depth customization. Similarly, Paralives has been seen adding some highly requested features for The Sims into their own game, but since the teams behind it is much smaller, the game will probably take a long while before actually getting released. Nevertheless, the hype for this game is still strong, and many are impatiently waiting for its release, meaning there's definitely a consistent part of the community that is open to trying new games. The third reason behind this increase in number of live simulation games is the timing between The Sims 4, its predecessor The Sims 3, and its possible successor Project Rene. The Sims 4 has been going for almost 10 years, while The Sims lasted 4 years, The Sims 2 5 years, and The Sims 3 5 years as well. This means that The Sims 4 has a lifespan more than double that of its predecessors, so it's officially the longest standing game in the Sims franchise, and it's projected to still be the mainline game for a while longer. In fact, the Sims 4 developers continually repeat that we can expect more content coming for the game, and Project Rene, while officially in development, still has no official release date. Furthermore, some speculate that Project Rene might not even be the official successor to The Sims 4, but will be just a building simulator, meaning it'll work alongside The Sims 4 as a different game. Obviously, we can't say if Project Rene is going to become The Sims 5 or not, and we don't know when it will be released for sure, but even if it come out next year, that means rival companies still had years and years to study the players' needs and requests in order to develop the perfect live simulation games that has the chance to dethrone The Sims from its monopoly. And the reaction to Life by You and Paralives when they first were announced definitely shows that Sims player, while still loyal to their favorite franchise, are not against checking out another game from another company that can fulfill their gaming needs. But what all these new live simulation games mean for the customer? I believe it's great to see some competition on the market, and these new games coming out will push EA to make sure their new product is more in line with the players' expectations. We can already see that with what we know of Project Rene, since they're bringing back this customization that was so appreciated by fans in The Sims 3, and they're adding multiplayer without getting rid of a single player experience, and multi-platform compatibility so that both PC, console, and mobile players can all experience the game the same way. The monopoly that the Sims franchise had on the market meant that they could get away with more things, like unpolished products and subpar DLCs, without really worrying to lose their audience since there were no alternatives for live simulation games. But with the rise of all these competitors, they'll have to make sure their games is up to standards in order to keep their core audience happy and gain new fans and supporters. And this can also be said for the other developers creating these rival games. As we saw with Life by You, their lack of attention in the art department of the game saw some backlash from the supporters, many saying that if the game looked that way, they would continue to play the Sims games. And that's partly the reason why Paradox decided to push the release date, citing the improvement of graphics and the user interface as the reason for this delay. In general, healthy competition can only be good for customers. The companies will try harder to please the players and their requests since they could always turn around and play with another game, something that now isn't really possible for Sims fans. That being said, I don't see the Sims franchise completely losing their monopoly. While the healthy competition is great, EA has an incredibly solid and established brand on their hands. The Sims franchise has a great strong core audience that will continue to support the games, and its icon status won't change much even with the release of new games like Life by You and Paralives, since these games don't have a 20 plus years of marketing and presence on the gaming market like The Sims does. So, what are your thoughts on these new live simulation games popping on the market? Do you think the competition will translate to a better experience for all players or a worse experience? Will we see the Sims monopoly get shaken a bit by these new games? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye!